Good morning and welcome to Lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. If you are trusting in your own strength, you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful. What can you predict or control? What is there in you that can be counted on? What would you give the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem and to resolve them in such a way that only good can come of it? What is there in you that gives you the recognition of right solution and the guarantee that it will be accomplished? Of yourself, you can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted and to justify fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Who can put his faith in weakness and feel safe? Yet who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? God is your safety in every circumstance. His voice speaks for him in all situation and in every aspect of all situations, telling you exactly what to do to call upon his strength and his protection. There are no exceptions because God has no exceptions. And the voice which speaks for him thinks as he does. Today we will reach past your own weakness to the source of real strength. 4 5-minute practice periods are necessary today, and longer, more frequent ones are urged. Close your eyes and begin as usual by repeating the idea for the day. Then spend a minute or two in searching for situations in your life which you have invested with fear, dismissing each one by telling yourself, God is the strength in which I trust. Now try to slip past all concerns related to your own sense of inadequacy. It is obvious that any situation that causes you concern is associated with feelings of inadequacy, for otherwise you would believe that you could deal with the situation successfully. It is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence, but the strength of God in you is successful in all things. The recognition of your own frailty is a necessary step in the correction of your errors, but it is hardly a sufficient one in giving you the confidence which you need and to which you are entitled. You must also gain an awareness that confidence in your real strength is fully justified in every respect and all circumstances. In the latter phase of the practice period, try to reach down into your mind to a place of real safety. You will recognize that you have reached it if you feel a sense of deep peace. However, briefly, let go of all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind and reach down below them to the kingdom of heaven. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. During the day, repeat the idea often. Use it as your answer to any disturbance. Remember that peace is your right because you are giving your strength and trust to God. You are giving your trust to the strength of God. Lesson 47, God is the strength in which I trust. We are invited to have more frequent practice periods now, so 4 times for 5 minutes. Please feel free to bookmark this point in our video if you prefer to come back and join us for this guided meditation. Let's begin by centering ourselves, noticing where the feet plant on the floor, straightening the spine into a posture that is strong and straight. God is the strength in which I trust. And notice the rise and fall of the torso as we continue to breathe. God is the strength in which I trust. And now we allow to rise to the surface situations in our lives in which we have invested with fear, dismissing each one as they arise. God is the strength in which I trust. And let's sit together in silence for a moment. Several situations may arise: personal, professional, public. Thinking of our partners and families, our personal health, our relationship with parents and children, worry about their health, their safety, and worry about the health and safety of our world at large, about politics and angry people taking the forefront. Reminding ourselves, God is the strength in which I trust. Jesus instructs us to dismiss each situation we've invested with fear. With this teaching for today, God is the strength in which I trust. Where are we trusting in our own strength? What can we predict or control? What would give us the ability to be aware of all facets of a problem and to resolve in such a way that only good can come of it? Jesus quickly reminds us that all of our noodling and worrying is for naught. Of yourself, you can do none of these things. To believe that you can is to put your trust where trust is unwarranted. And then to justify fear, anxiety, weakness, depression, anger, sorrow. God is the strength in which I trust. Who can put his faith in strength and feel weak? We are invited to turn over our situations, people, and problems to God. God is the strength in which I trust. We like to meddle. We get in the way. Perhaps a situation arises where it feels impossible to relinquish worry and control. If so, that is a situation most requiring our faith in the strength of God. Jesus reminds us to slip past our own sense of inadequacy. Any situation causing us concern is associated with feelings of inadequacy. Otherwise, you would not believe you could deal with the situation successfully, is what he says. He reminds us that the strength of God in us is successful in all things. The recognition of your own frailty is a necessary step in the correction of your errors. Now we are invited to reach past all of these problems. We are surrendering to God's strength. We are solidifying our trust, building our faith and trust in the strength of God. The ego doesn't want us to have any trust in something outside of our ability to manipulate and cope with a situation. So A Course in Miracles challenges us to really surrender, to explore what faith is, and that is trusting. Trusting that we are not alone, trusting that we are frail and need God's help to solve our problems. Now we're going to reach down into our minds to a place of real safety. You will recognize it if you feel a deep sense of peace, however briefly. Let go of all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface. There is a place in us where there is perfect peace, where nothing is impossible, where the strength of God abides. Just thinking of how short our time is on this planet, how much time we spend learning and suffering, and how much we would like to really enjoy the time that remains to us, wholeheartedly, open-heartedly. This is the way forward. This is the way we can find peace. During the day, Jesus invites us to repeat this lesson often, use it as our answer to any disturbance, and he reminds us that peace is our right because we are giving our trust to the strength of God. Lesson 47. God is the strength in which I trust. Such a wonderful, inspiring, uplifting lesson. We are not alone, and to expect that we have to do this alone is to expect the impossible. So looking for that spark of God within us where we can dig deep and find this strength and peace. Lesson 47 happens to be my birthday lesson, and so I find this lesson has special resonance for me because managing and coping with difficult problems is something I really struggle with. For example, trying to help my children and letting go of that and trusting in the strength of God rather than my own need to make things work for them as they become young adults, to solve all problems or to worry about their inability to navigate through problems. That's a tough one for me to let go of. And so this lesson for me has always spoken to me. God is the strength in which I trust. After 20 years of course study, I am still working on this. It is difficult to let go of the ego's role and to truly trust in the strength of God. That is the real crux of faith. And that is a real test of faith as well. Thank you for joining with me today. I will be celebrating my birthday with my family and my loved ones, and I'm very grateful for that. Already had a good snuggle with my little fuzzball, Balthazar. Wishing you a wonderful day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for lesson 48.